Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining the Behind Company Lines podcast. Today we have Timur Khabirov, CEO and co-founder of Prequel. Prequel is a revolutionary creative app for photo and video editing, helping people to express themselves and put their most daring art projects to life. Timur, I'm so excited to chat with you and really this whole new craze around AI and what it's been able to really do in terms of just not only disrupting kind of different types of automated roles and things along that nature, but also in the creative space and what that really means for the evolution of the creative space. I'm so curious to see not only how your users have been able to use the app, but also, what it means for not only video content, but edit photo content as well as others and kind of where the evolution is going to go. But before we get into Prequel, what were you doing before you started the company?
I'm an entrepreneur the whole life, and I started when I was 17 years old, and in tech industry, like for more than 20 years, I would say
Yeah.
23, something like that. Yeah, I had a big experience, but before the mobile market, I worked in B2B segment on a corporate level, service us actually, and the service company as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah,
Sure.
but the
What
main
got you
point of
into
prequel,
I was gonna ask
the
what got you
prequel.
into the mobile app space? Yeah, what kind of inspired you to go into kind of more of a consumer
You
approach?
know, my partner, he's a good friend of mine, actually, the Serge, and he introduced me the mobile market. Why I so respect mobile market? Because there's a lot of democracy over there, and you have the direct impact with your customer,
Yeah.
and you can recognize your business model, your product is good or not. You don't have somebody in the middle, like third party. You have direct conversation with your customer. If they like it, you are the rock star. If they don't, nothing. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very honest. That's why I respect and like the mobile.
Yeah. And what in particular about video and photo editing, at least did you see to be able to kind of think about ways to do what Prequel's done and really kind of empower creatives to do more creative things or create more unique projects? And what in particular did you see in the market that kind of signaled you to start creating that direction?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a great question because before you will think about something, some individual like uniqueness or some innovation, you have to understand your audience, the market
Yeah.
itself. Because our audience embraces many different identities like our customers, but not to escape, but to express who they are.
Yeah.
Like that was the main point. And in our business model, I would say the main idea of Prequel, it's a visually created platform for all versions of you. That was the main idea. What about the uniqueness? Actually, we are in the art and tech segment, art and technology, and we combined everything together: perception, art, tech, and human, which means our uniqueness is where the art vision, the art experience, knowledge meets the technology. And our main goal, combine them together.
Man.
Because we have a lot of different like technology, the frameworks, especially with the artificial intelligence. And in our case, we are trying to combine this together in a perfect way.
Man.
How to promote those tools for our community.
How have you made those tools in terms of photo editing, being that they are typically very detail-oriented, very granular, and where you could change different kind of more traditional settings, exposure, brightness, all that, into what Prequel does, which is kind of create a whole different experience and add a different layer of editing and not only with those functions in terms of the micro changes, but also with new kind of modern tools that people are using. What kind of brought you to focus on that direction? How have you been able to do it? And what are some ways that users are actually using the product to create those unique experiences?
Our main priority, as I explained before, the first of all, the customer needs. And the main needs is like how to express your current mood, your emotions. And we started with the retro filters, retro effects, and we started everything. And we have our own lab with professional photographers, with professional videographers, like from the worldwide experience. And we search everything. We work with the real films, we work with the real like colors, with everything. And our idea was how it works. Maybe sometimes the people tell me the market, they don't need like the real authentic,
Sure.
something like effect. But in my opinion, we have to do this. We have to provide the real authentic, like visual effects. And we created the trend on the market with a professional, with the aesthetic, with the real correct, like visual effects. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what kind of film you use it, maybe Linear Brothers or like Charlie Chaplin from that ages, or you use like, for example, like a movie, etc., like 8 millimeters film.
Yeah.
Our main idea was to come up how you can combine together experience of Generation Z, for example, with your legacy from the
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
And we found that how
Yeah.
to find a compromise, how to
Yeah.
create a platform. Because in our platform, the main point, as I said before, how to express yourself
Yeah.
with all versions of you. And maybe you can feel like you're in the 60s, you're in 70s, you're in
Sure.
80s and
Yeah.
90s. It does not matter. You have to express
Yeah.
yourself. You have to, because every single person has some kind of unique message
Yeah.
to this world. And your message is your legacy,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
It's so interesting.
That's Mhm,
It's so interesting
mhm.
thinking about the ways that creators can use this and the way influence and creator influencers and all the individuals that come along in this category. What are some ways that you've been surprised about them using the application outside of the typical user story, which is I have a kind of personal image, a brand image, and I may be influence for certain other brands, whether it's clothing, apparel, lifestyle, what name you, and kind of use this branding package to kind of promote myself. But outside of that, have there been other unique ways that people are using Prequel to either promote business or use it for their personal means? What have you been surprised by?
How's a surprise? Okay, we provide the styles. I would say we're number one on the planet with the stylization.
Yeah,
And at times we promote the tools. But follow your question, actually. I think the main point here is our customer. He decides what he wants to tell. Our goal is just to help him. And it doesn't matter, it's a business or like B2C level. It doesn't
yeah,
matter for us because, on the other side, it doesn't, maybe you're watching the commercial, you're watching like user generated content. At the same time, your perception can recognize the real thing, right? Let's talk about art. What is that? Art is a tool. Art is a platform
yeah,
which helps to provide some kind of message
yeah,
from creative community to our entire world. That's why we have the culture, right?
yeah,
And I think in our days, our goal and our responsibility to provide the aesthetic,
yeah,
authentic, and high quality tools for creative community to promote themselves.
yeah,
Because it is a culture. We
yeah.
cannot ignore that. We have to be part of it, right?
Right, right. In regards to how the technology works, speak a little bit for our audience to kind of understand and for context sake how you're using kind of AI, and obviously it's popular now because of ChatGPT, but
hmm
obviously other companies have been using it for a while. What ways have AIs not only made and empowered kind of your company to grow, but what are some unique ways that it's used in video and photo kind of images that we are typically aware of? Because I think people are used to like language models and natural language models because it's tangible, but you know, I think video medium is a little bit left to digest for people. So yeah, describe AI, kind of its involvement and how it's able to be used at Prequel.
hmm Okay, first of all, let's separate the visual generative AI and a language-based model like
Yeah.
ChatGPT. We work on the other side, on the first one,
Yeah.
visual generative AI. And I'm not going to talk about the AI in general, but my opinion, the first of all, for me, is just a tool. It's a new generation of tool. And the main point of AI, the main benefit, it's a time saver, right?
Yeah.
For example, like 10 years ago, I used Photoshop for all my life. I started to use it like 20 years ago, maybe, when the first version came up on the market. And could imagine like 10 years ago, for example, if you want to remove background from your portraits, from your selfie, it takes like at least 1 hour or maybe 40 minutes, a lot of details on your hair, like it's too complicated. Now we have this technology, like we can provide this in less than 1 second.
Yeah.
It's a time saver. And don't look at AI like it's not our enemy. It's not your enemy. For example, that was the case with in photography, some kind of awards, and some picture won the first place, and it was generated based on AI.
Wow.
But what's the main point? Who is the author of that?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what kind of tool you use. My main point, artificial intelligence cannot overbeat us because humans have many innate key abilities.
Yeah.
Such as creativity, like strategic thinking, self-awareness, empathy, and love, right?
Yeah.
And these neatly great abilities have not yet been hacked, and therefore cannot be fully reproduced. That's the main point. And that's the prequels way. AI is just a new kind of technology. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. What are some ways that you're generating graphics with AI, and how are those graphics generated?
We have a lot of collaborations with real paint artists or other creative people, photographers, etc. And we have collaboration with them. And our main goal in the future is to come up with a marketplace platform where you can share your experience. For example, I live in New York, I'm a New Yorker. And in New York, it's not that easy to find some photographer for for shooting, and the price is $500, right?
Yeah.
Per day, per session. Yeah. It's not that cheap, and not a lot of people can afford that. But in our case, if you're a professional photographer, you have your own style, like Weinberg, for example, or famous photographers. You can teach your own AI model, and you can share it with the entire community, with the millions of people. And maybe you'll get like just $5. But could you imagine if you'll sell with millions of people? That's the main point. That was the same revolution was the iTunes. Do you remember? Before that was CDs or MP3, but you need to show on the market your album, right? The people, they have to buy like your album at least for $25.
Yeah.
But in iTunes, you can buy just one song. The same point with us. The main idea, the creative community, they have to understand. Don't stay against this AI.
Yeah.
You have to find some kind of, the friendship with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And embrace it.
You have to start to come. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And we provided tools. Because what you see in Prequel, everything based on our collaboration. Behind the scenes, we have a lot of creative paint artists, photographers, etc.
Yeah. How are they able to, without any technical ability, describe their relationship with Prequel and how they kind of go through the journey? Are they creating their own kind of unique mock-ups and then it kind of creating or submitting them to this engine, and then the engine kind of creates other kind of graphics in lieu or in relationship or using those images? How is that journey? Describe that to our
for now it's not that easy, let's be honest. They have to contact us and we'll provide the tools, but later on we are working on that, work on a name, let's say we call it Prequel Studio for now. We're going to come up with the tool. It's going to be native application for Mac and for Windows and the web version as well, where you can log in and that's it. And you will have the all APIs, everything. It's up to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they upload images and
our idea, sorry, the business model in this market segment is not to promote something from our side. Like for example, HBO and Netflix, they have their own TV series, right? They have their own TV shows, but it's just 5 or 10% of the
Okay.
content. The rest is something from a site, right? The same with Prequel. We will work with our lab to provide something from us. At the same time, it's just a showcase.
Yeah.
Our goal to promote the tools for creative community.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful, like every person, like so unique.
Yeah.
They can create something like amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. What
I
thinking
respect
of
people, and I think the human first, then AI or any other tools.
yeah, yeah. What are some of the biggest risks that Prequel faces today?
I don't know, like any other business, like recession, technical default. I don't know on the market. Yeah, no, the biggest risk is AI.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, and but not just for our industry. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Because the problem with AI, besides the commercial goals, let's say it's, I don't know, you look at it or not, but the main point is AI today, based on language models, it's like new nuclear weapon.
You
It's a huge confrontation between the huge leaders
Yeah.
on the planet,
Yeah.
between US and China. And I know like Elon Musk and other people from tech leaders seek AI training posts, but I think it's inevitable. It's impossible to make it imposed to stop it. Because it's a
Yeah.
new era of nuclear weapon. But the main problem with AI, because it is a nuclear weapon, but with intelligence,
Yeah.
not with the brain.
Yeah.
That's the main problem. And you asked me about the problem. We don't have any problem. We're still working. We have a lot of goals. But the main problem is the AI, how you can manage this.
Yeah.
Will you win or use it, or AI will win? That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. If everything goes well, what's the long-term vision of the company?
We're going to increase our product line, and for the all market segments, we're going to be bigger. We'll use AI definitely in this case, but we have the long-term story
Yeah. Yeah.
in our vision.
Yeah. I always like this next section. I call it my founder FAQ. So I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions and we'll see where we go. So first question I always like to ask is what's particularly hard about your job day to day?
The hard part,
Mhm.
I don't know. I travel a lot. I have a lot of jet lags. That's the main problem. But I'm familiar. For me, it's common thing. I work 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
sometimes 24/7.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk said, yeah, you have to work a lot. That's it. The main point, you have to be in focus. That's
Yeah.
it.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
You have to understand everything, the market, your environment, your people, everything.
Yeah. Thinking about Prequel and what it's able to do to help people creating photo and video content, how has it changed the speed at which people are delivering content? And does that change the type of content people are ingesting? Have you seen any change in that direction in terms of speed or uniqueness in new types of content?
You already provided the answer, the time saver. Just one tap editing. That's why we prefer AI for that. People now, they're familiar. They already have an experience.
Hmm.
Like, for example, like 15 years ago, my mom, I had no idea how to upload a video or photo to Facebook. Like
Sure.
right now, she knows everything more than me. She's 70 years old and she familiar with everything, how to edit video or picture, etc. But in your question, you already have the answer.
Sure.
One tap editing. The
Yeah.
time saver is number one priority everywhere in metaverse or in web revolution, everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. How?
The main point for tech industry is a time saver, believe me.
Yeah. Yeah. How have you kind of thought about Prequel's value as a tool for people who say necessarily didn't have the means to start a company or start building a brand and hired an individual to create. Now they have these tools that are super powered to be able to create really highly branded or unique content or similar content over a certain amount of time. So it kind of creates an experience. What do you feel like opens up the gates in terms of people being able to use Prequel as a means to kind of create a consistent image or things like that? Do you kind of think about what it helps people do?
There is no any magic tool, honestly. Let's be honest. The first of all, it's up to you. You have to understand who you are,
Yeah.
what kind of message you have, especially from the business perspective, right? Not in general. Like you're gonna promote your like cosmetology, or you're gonna promote your like services, consulting, whatever. It's up to you. But our main goal is to understand our community. We can help to express your message, we can do that, but it's up to you. You have to find your way. You have to make a lot of market research before you're gonna come up with some kind of product or service, right? We cannot replace that, but we can help you how to promote this in an aesthetic and professional way. That's right. That's why I know we have some kind of examples like Gucci company, famous fashion brand, Galliano, some people from movie industry, TV industry, they use this.
Yeah.
Because I'm very happy because they have the like high level art designers, art directors, right? And they use this. I think it's for everyone, but depends on your mood, depends on your position, depends on your message or your passion. You can find a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can find a huge variety of tools. But first of all, we're not the tool providers. We're providers of styles.
Yeah.
It's kind of like fashion industry in the digital world, kind of augmentation.
Yeah.
Why you want to, the rule number one, sometimes people, they like to augment the content just to hide behind this, or they use it as a tool. If we're talking about the business community, they need some kind of tools, how to augment your naked content and to provide the right message for your customers. That's it. And we think AI in the future, we already have a lot of tests in our marketing department. Maybe we're going to come up with some kind of technology which will help like small, medium-sized businesses how to create the commercial for them.
Yeah.
Because right now it's too expensive. Let's be honest, right? You need to hire people, at least 3 or 4 or 5. It's not affordable for SMB level.
Yeah.
Like in US, right? We have 27 million SMB companies.
Yeah.
And like the 70% of them, they cannot afford this. That's why we're going to help them.
Yeah. What's something, that you are good at as a founder that you wish you were better at earlier on in your career?
What, sorry?
Yeah. What's something that you're good at now as a founder versus that you wish you were better at earlier in your career?
Oh, I think you need to find the professional people on the early stages. Sometimes I think it's too expensive, for example, right? I will hire them later on or something like that, but no. I think it's a good investment to have like the real smart people from the beginning.
Yeah. How do you go about identifying who the right people are? A lot of founders talk about ways that they've tried, certain questions. Is it, certain reference calls? What in particular is actionable advice that you give to other founder on how to find the right people?
I think it's very simple, actually. Like you have to understand what is your goal, what's your main business idea, right?
Yeah.
Business model. And you have to understand what is my experience. Okay, let's put aside like your passion, your idea, your genius, whatever, right? But don't lie to yourself. You have to be the honest person, right? Okay, I have this kind of experience, but I need some strategic partners or smart people to create some kind of core to reach that goal.
Yeah.
And that's why some people, some startups, they don't understand. They don't need just money. They need strategic partnership, right?
Yeah.
The people with experience, and especially if you're in mobile industry, you have no idea how to promote, your product, how to market this, how to create campaigns, how to work with the monetization models, the analytics. If you have any experience it's impossible.
Yeah.
You have to find the partners or some strategic advisors, whatever. But first of all, don't lie to yourself. Your main goal, don't promote yourself, promote the business, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. What are some ways that you think founders can better connect with their customers?
Use your product.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to use the product.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I remember the Devil's Advocate, and the movie with Al Pacino.
Yeah.
And yeah, and when it came down to Subway, I live in New York. I like Subway.
Mm-hmm.
I use Subway all the time because I love people. I have to understand what they use, what kind of apps they use, how they spend the time with their cell phones. And that was a huge example from the 90s, from that movie, when Keanu Reeves asked Al Pacino, why do you use Subway? And the devil said, I have to understand my customers. I'm not comparing myself or business to the devil, but you have to understand people.
Yeah.
You have to use the same tools.
Yeah.
The same services, right? And if you want to understand your community, you have to use your own product.
Yeah. 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 I always like to ask this next question because I love how founders extract knowledge out of anything that they ingest, whether it's early in your career or now. What books or people have influenced you the most?
Steve Jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. They're absolute heroes, but for me, they're not my idols. I know they're icons, but if you have wisdom, if you're a smart guy, you have to understand what is the path for your inspiration.
Yeah.
You have to put something on the side. If some person inspires you for 100%, it's not good.
Yeah.
Right? He's an idol for you. But if you're an entrepreneur or a business guy, you have to put everything on the side. Okay, I like this part from this hero, or maybe this one, and that's it.
Sure.
You have to like books collection, right? For example, I like Freddie Mercury music, but could you imagine just Freddie Mercury and nobody else? No. I like Bob Marley. I like a lot of musicians, the artists. But the inspiration, I think, it has to be flexible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, is there anything that's stood out to you that you've kind of used as a frame of reference throughout your career or even today? Something that you read or something that somebody said that kind of sticks with you as you go through it? In any bucket of those items that you think is particularly impactful?
I see this every day, daily basis. Like, I like to read articles about business, about science things like astrophysics, biology, everything. I think the inspiration not based on your idols.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on your position. If you're hungry, you have to feed yourself, right? And if you are smart, you will find the good place or the right person who will feed you.
Yeah.
I think it's very flexible.
Yeah. I always like to, I know we're at the end of the show, so I would like to make sure we didn't leave anything on the table. Is there any question I didn't ask you that I should have, or anything that we didn't talk about that you'd like to talk about before we end here? Anything we left on the table?
I don't know. Looks like everything. Like the old questions about AI, about art, about everything.
I guess what's next on the agenda? Yeah, what's next on the agenda in terms of this year? Where are you looking to expand or grow? Any kind of newer partnerships, any newer products? What are you particularly excited about in terms of the next stage of Prequel?
Okay, and definitely we're gonna grow up, right? And I have a goal. We have the right company because we have the long-term story, and we need more revenue, more customers, more professional people in our team. It's a common thing for every business, actually, but we're not going to stop. We don't have any investment outside, right? And we're an independent company, but in the future, why not?
Yeah. What's allowed you to bootstrap for this long? and not have to take investment.
In nowadays, it's not that easy anyway. You'll need the money. If you have your own, let's say, no, we have a huge systems on the market, basically because of the AI technology and the mobile market in nowadays. It's not the easy thing like it was like 5 or 10 years ago, but it depends on this market segment.
Yeah.
First, asking generally about like business experience, I don't know. We have a lot of version segments, right? After the COVID or maybe after every recession, the people, they're so smart,
Yeah.
the community, maybe they're not entrepreneurs, but they can find something. Wow, we're going to come with a new solution.
Yeah.
And I think you have to understand what kind of segment cheap, right? The mobile segment is not that cheap anymore. You need to find some strategic partners, strategic investors. Maybe any other business, I don't know, in hospitality, wherever, you need to make the research first. But you have to be agreed. If you're going to grow up your business, don't lie to yourself. Be honest. You need not only money, right? Not just money. You need some smart people in your team. You need some very smart advisors, right?
Yeah.
And the people who will share the best practice for you. That best practice will not impact your idea, your main idea. It's okay, but business is business. Let's say, for example, Prequel, right? We are on a photo video segment, we unique or whatever, but it's just 30%. For the 70%, it's business.
Yeah.
Like everywhere.
Yeah.
Business is business, right? Nothing personal, just business.
Yeah. Timur, it's been such a pleasure not only talking to you about Prequel, but also about your background, your experience, what you've learned in your career. And I'm so excited to see kind of the growth that your company kind of expects and how many people are using the platform, the different waves in that they're building unique content and the more things that come out of it. So, thank you so much for being on the show today. I hope you enjoyed yourself and I'm excited to share this with the audience. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you so much.
Of course.